Okay, so it's a really rocky week, couple of weeks, couple of months. And I thought it would be smart to sit and just get calm and ground a bit. This is like we're in a transition point, and I talk a lot about this in the current forecast. If you haven't heard it yet, I've got a link in the description for this event. It's like we're in an airplane and the captain puts on the fasten seatbelt signs. You're traveling, you can't get off the plane, you're way up high, over the sky, over the ground. So you just have to kind of ride it out. And that is our metaphor for where we are. Okay, so here's some ideas on how to deal with this. Well, just a little bit about what's happening. With the transition from 2020 to 2021, we're now dealing all year long with a different outer planet than what colored all of last year. And this is Uranus, the guy who I say throws the lightning bolts. He's been hanging out quietly in the sign of Taurus. And now we have planets moving into Aquarius that are going to be in a challenging relationship with him throughout the year. And the first one that happens is Jupiter, the guy that makes everything bigger, and he's going to be in a square with Saturn a square with Uranus and Taurus on the 17th of January. And you might have heard stuff in social media about this having been selected as a date for some turbulence on the ground. And then Mars, the planet of action, is going to be right on top of Uranus on the 19th, yes, the day before the inauguration. And then in February, Saturn starts squaring Uranus. So first we have expansion hitting Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, this very electrical, liberating, anarchistic energy in the most grounded sign in the zodiac. And then, so first the expansion guy pushes him, the action guy sits on him, and then in February, the Lord of Structure starts moving in and out of a square with him. Now, the thing is, Uranus is in control of what's happening in all of these because Uranus rules Aquarius. So when Jupiter pumps him up, Uranus is in charge of the pump. When Saturn starts squaring him, Uranus is going to beat Saturn. Saturn wants structure, Uranus wants to blow up structure. Uranus is the way of the future, Saturn's the way we've always done it. We are transitioning into completely different structures. Oh, Moon and Venus conjunct Aquarius in your 7th house. You're in for some awakening, I think is a pleasant way to put that. Could be very exciting if you've been stuck. Could be very, very exciting. At any rate, so there's this rockiness going on. We're in it for the year, kind of like last year we were in for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction for the whole year. Few things I want to point out to you is, and primarily Uranus and Taurus, there's a lot here with earth-based experience. Taurus rules the throat. Taurus likes things in the here and now. Taurus is creativity that actually produces something. So, Taurus is Ferdinand the Bull. For those of you who remember the Monroe Leaf story, it just wants to sit there and smell the flowers and chew on its favorite grass and feel the air going through its little hairs. Taurus is not quick. Uranus is sudden. And so there are going to be things here involving money, the economy, finances, getting the thread here. innovations in technological innovations for all these things, possibly Green New Deal, that would certainly fit in with all of this. With this in mind, okay, if we know this rockiness is coming up and we know we just have to go through it, and it's going to land us into a place that is where, in a sense, where we want to go, or it's where we're going. It's where we're going. All right. So we're not getting off the plane. We're heading there. Knowing about this rockiness and knowing that there is very likely a financial component to it, and add to this that we've had a patchwork response to both the personal, the medical, the sociological, and the economic impact of a pandemic. Things have been stitched together with basting thread, and stuff is going to start to give way. I am not saying this to freak you out. I'm saying this to suggest that you be prudent, you be frugal, and that you make sure you have stuff on hand in case you can't get to the store, in case the supply chains break down. I'm not saying they're going to, but here's my example. Right before Christmas, I was running out of food and I thought, oh, I'll just go to the store tomorrow. And then I found out I had been exposed to COVID and I had to quarantine with no notice. Now I'm fine. The point is, I ate my way through what was left of the produce in my house, but I didn't have a lot of other stuff on hand. So like I wasn't making smoothies with almond milk because I was out of the almond milk and out of almonds to make the almond milk. Point being, I've made some really big shopping trips lately and I have stuff stocked up. Not going to get in that position again. So, buy a couple of extra of things. It would not hurt you. It would not hurt you. All right. Also, keep in mind that there's a real electric, anxiety-provoking sometimes quality to this Uranian energy. It can be like, it can be like tossing an electrical piece of equipment into a bathtub, all right? It's not going to kill you, but it's really hard to relax with all this. And add to that we have been living under, I'm going to call it persistent traumatic stress for several years. And we see the possibility of there may be an end to this coming, but we still have to keep going. So what I want to do tonight is a variation on something I've done before in a Facebook Live, and adding to that something that I have done with other people offline on again for a couple of years. So the first thing I'd like to suggest is really simple. Just pay attention to the base of your spine, and I'm going to give you a very simple exercise for discharging some of this energy, just getting it out of your system right now so you can be a little calmer, you can have less running through you. So pay attention to the base of your spine, and I want you to imagine that you have a grounding cord. You're going to attach a grounding cord, any color you want, any substance you want, but it's detachable, all right? Attach a grounding cord to the base of your spine and let it dig through the chair and through the floor and send it down deep, deep, deep into the earth. Really deep. Get down to where you can see that there's, molten stuff. Tie it down and set the intention that there is a release valve, and then set the intention that any energy you don't need is just going to go down this cord and slide out of you and earth with drain into the earth and turn into neutral energy. I'm sorry, I made the mistake of looking at the chat and getting distracted for a second there. Just allow energy to flow out of you down this cord into the earth where it turns into neutral energy. If there's anything specific that you'd like to get out of your system, you can shoot it down there. Know that it's whatever you need to get rid of, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. It's just flowing, but you can certainly shoot other things down there, memories, recent experiences, things you've witnessed, emotional overload, 24/7 news overload, persistent traumatic stress. Shoot it all down there, okay? We've all seen things we weren't expecting to see in our lifetime, especially lately. And there's a huge sense of no one quite knows what's going on. So send it down. And I'm going to suggest that you can speed it along by imagining that the top of your head is slightly open in a very gentle but powerful stream of light is coming down and going down your entire spinal column and just washing out whatever you need to get rid of, and just let it go down, down, down into the earth. And we're going to keep this going during the rest of my talk. So you don't have to think about it. It's going to keep going. We will shut it down at the end, but I'm going to set the intention right now that if you leave, if you forget, as soon as you step away from this, actually the draining will stop when you are organically ready for it to shut down. Okay, so it's going to turn itself off on its own if you're not here when I turn it off for you. Okay. Now, earlier at other points, no, backing up, I have a longer and more expansive version of this that you can do, and I've got a link in the description. It says Reclaiming Your Energy. This is a free 1-hour talk about how we pick up energy and pass it back and forth, and it has a longer, more detailed version of this that you can use to clear things out of your system. So feel free to help yourself to that if you don't already have it. I would say it is the most downloaded item from my site. Wondering if the fact that it's free has anything to do with it. Okay. At another point, a couple of months back, we did a little exercise of just kind of holding hands. I want to start with, as a predicate to that, that's where we're heading. As a predicate to that, you'll notice the image behind me is a bunch of lights on across the planet. What I'd like to do is to amplify an existing grid of light and protection that's already around the planet. So think about wherever you are, imagine light coming out of you, out of your dwelling, and see it growing bigger and bigger, so that if there were an aerial photograph like the one behind me, it would be picked up. And just imagine that everyone who's watching this, either live or afterwards, is also amplifying a light. It's getting stronger and stronger from every person who watches this, bright enough that it could be picked up by an aerial satellite, an aerial photo. So as we're doing this, see the lights connecting in a grid, going from coast, East Coast to West Coast, across the US. I know, and through the Midwest. I know there are people on the East Coast. I know there are people in the Midwest watching this live. I know there are people on the West Coast watching this live. Take it down to the Gulf Coast. It's covering the entire, it's covering North America. See it going down into Mexico and South America and up into Canada. So the entire Western Hemisphere is lit up by this light grid and move west, see Hawaii and Alaska and Asia and Russia and India, and going down Australia, which is represented in our Facebook Live. Hello. And just keep going west, going through Russia, going through India, going through the Middle East. When we hit Europe, all through Northern Europe and the UK, down into Africa, all the way down into Antarctica. I can say it if I think about it. So we had this light grid connecting all over the planet. Now imagine that there is a comparable one up in the sky made up of all these stars and many other points of light that we are not conscious of, and see it come down like a blanket from the sky and just envelop the earth and amplify the light that's already down here, firm up the grid that is already in place. It's a beautiful wish for calm coming from Australia to the US. I receive it. And see this light just growing brighter and brighter, and the grid, the lines connecting lights and lights and lights and lights and lights, so that there's these beautiful streaks all across the planet, bringing light to situations, bringing higher guidance to situations, bringing hope and optimism and beneficial options and beneficial outcomes, and softening and cushioning, and soothing, bringing hope, calming scared beings, calming anger, light that cuts through the fog, light that actually starts merging the dual realities that are existing on our planet right now. This will happen naturally this year, more by May. They'll be merged into one again by December. We can certainly ask for that to be sped along. And with the light grid in place, you can remind yourself of this anytime you want. You can turn up your light anytime you want. You can see your light connecting to the lights of all the people you know, all the people who are part of this little process we have done, even if you have not physically met them. You can see the lights connecting all over the planet. You can energize this at any time. New moons and full moons are really good times to do this. And now with the lights in place, I'm going to return to the for want of a better word, the process that we did months and months ago at a time when a lot of people were freaking out. Feel the presence of the other people who are taking part in this, either now or at other points in time. That's irrelevant. Feel the presence and see, feel, see, stretch. Put your hands out in both directions, and you'll note that you're touching other hands. Just make a ring of hands. Grasp and hold the hands. And feel yourself as part of a community, part of a network. This is part of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. building meaningful, beneficial communities in a virtual world. Sense the presence of the others. Sense your connectedness to them. Reach out, squeeze. And now, just for grins, I had this weird idea. Take your hands, and we're going to all put our hands in the middle. Why not? Okay. And see how many hands you feel coming together in a big group. See? Feel it? We're all there. And at any time in the next week or two, when the ride gets a little bit bumpy, bumpier than you're comfortable with, reach out and grab the etheric hands that are there in the middle of this. You can come back to this anytime you want. You can spread this to anyone you want. I have no pride of authorship on this. If you want a little more understanding about what we're working with astrologically, I've put other links further down in the description. One to my Uranus in Taurus talk. And the image on the cover of that is of lightning hitting a tree and going down deep into the roots. That pretty much sums it up. And also to my Saturn in Aquarius talk. Those are the two big players of the year. Those are the energies we're going to be dealing with and that I'm going to be talking about again and again and again. And they are what will be pushing us out of one way of being and into another. Okay, let me see if there are any questions real quick. Oh, we are, while we're doing this, we're helping serve coffee in Australia. See, we're all over the place. Any questions or comments real quick before I wind this up? I'm looking at, I will be saving this video. It'll be on the Empowerment Unlimited page. It'll be in my Astro-Insight Lounge group. And it'll be on my YouTube channel. Oh, yes, and here is the comment. I will be reaching quite often with my new bottle of hand sanitizer at the ready. Yeah, good. Well, this is socially distant hand holding, so. Anything else? Anyone else? I appreciate all you guys showing up. More powerful than last time. Yeah. Well, I think we've all been startled into be here now. We're very much in, oh boy, new world. Oh boy. The unthinkable has happened. So here we go. All right. Yay for tribe. Yes. Electronic tribe, virtual tribe. Here we go. How Aquarian, huh? All right. Look, guys, it's going to be much, much better when we land. It's just rocky till we get there. So keep the faith. Keep the faith. Ground yourself. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself snacks. Take care of your inner kid. And really do talk to the people who mean a lot to you. Even if they're thousands of miles away and you're staring at them in a computer camera. It's really important now. Okay? All right. I am signing off.